Israeli airstrikes continue to pummel Hamas militants' targets in the Gaza Strip as the casualty toll mounts. Israel is showing no sign of slowing a blistering air offensive against the Hamas militants in the Gaza Strip. Its airstrikes have killed over 400 Palestinians and wounded some 1,700 others so far. Yang Wei-han has more.
Israeli Air Force destroyed the homes of more than a dozen Hamas operatives and bombed one of its mosques on Friday. Most of the targeted homes appeared to be empty during the bombing, but one man was killed in a refugee camp in northern Gaza. Israel says the homes of Hamas leaders and the mosque were being used to store missiles and other weapons. Meanwhile, in Khan Yunis, southern Gaza, an Israeli strike has left 3 Palestinian children dead. The precise numbers of combatants and civilians killed are unclear. Hamas says around half of the more than 400 deaths were civilian, but the UN puts the figure at only more than 60, including 34 children. Israel says it would consider a halt to its air campaign if international monitors are brought in to track compliance with any truce with Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert has also dismissed the prospect of a protracted war.
I really hope we'll achieve our targets as quickly as possible. We have no intention of handling a long war.
However, militants in Gaza are continuing with their rocket attacks, which wounded 4 Israelis in the southern city of Ashkelon on Friday. Beersheba and Ashdod were also targeted. The rockets have been reaching deeper into Israel than ever before, putting about 10% of Israel's population under threat. Yang Wei-han, CCTV.
The U.S. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice says the U.S. supports an immediate and lasting ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. But she says any halt in the fighting will have to depend on the willingness of Hamas to stop firing rockets into Israel. Rice made clear this point after the meeting with U.S. President George W. Bush.
We are working toward a ceasefire that would not allow a reestablishment of the status quo ante, where Hamas can continue to launch rockets out of Gaza. It is obvious that that ceasefire should take place as soon as possible, but we need a ceasefire that is durable and sustainable.
Meanwhile, Palestinians have been lining up in Gaza for UN food aid. There were long lines on Friday at the United Nations Relief Distribution Center as sacks of aid were handed out. The agency has launched an emergency appeal for $34 million to buy food, medical supplies and other goods. Israel has kept open certain crossings into Gaza to allow humanitarian aid to pass through. Some medical supplies, ambulances and generators have also moved into Gaza from Egypt through the Rafah border crossing.